Hey everybody, it's Mary with Time TV. We're here in Hollywood at the movie premiere of Zombieland. A lot of great people coming out tonight. We have Jason Lewis, Rosie Perez, Woody Harrelson. Let's interview them and see what they have to say about the movie. You're working on a couple of projects. You got something going on with DC, I hear. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, after 15 years of being pro for them, I've got my own line coming out inside the brand. That's just the Deer Deck collection for DC, and just everything from shoes to jeans to hoodies to sweatshirts to jackets to hats to backpacks to everything, like my entire own line within it.
Okay. Is there a specific style that you're going towards, or is it like a general?
For me, it's just about building stuff really clean, just approaching it to where really clean colors and clean logos. Just a lot of the skate design stuff seems to be
You got a fan club.
Being incredibly over designed, you know what I'm saying? I gotta go say what's up. The synchronized super hello, Rob is
you gotta show him some love.
Right now I have a recurring role on Tyler Perry's House of Pain on TBS, which is kind of fun, and I wrote my first book called Confidence is Queen, the 4 Keys to Ultimate Beauty Through Positive Thinking, and I've been busy promoting that and doing a lot of speaking engagements and mostly acting these days, which is fantastic. It's a nice change from MTV.
Right, so your book, is it already out, or, okay, and that was a really long name, no?
It was, I know, for sure. Well, it has a really long subtitle, but the main title is Confidence is Queen.
Okay, where did you come up with a title like that?
Well, I think it was probably the year that I was Miss USA in 2003, and that year I used to do a lot of motivational speaking, and I used to just tell my story of, success, which is one of it's hope and it's also very inspirational. My mom was a single mom and raised 3 young girls all by herself, and so I would tell people that story, and people would come up to me afterwards in tears, crying, just to say thank you, because perhaps they're going through the same thing, and grew up in the same low-income community that I grew up in. And so, like I said, it was a story of inspiration, and that kind of was what inspired me, in turn, to write my book. So,
sure.
Yeah.
So going from being in a beauty pageant to being in a VJ at MTV and then going into acting, how do you find the transition? What do you find to be most comfortable for you?
I like it all. Most comfortable, I guess I'd have to say hosting, being a VJ. When I was a kid, I used to be told to shut up constantly because I like to talk, So I'm glad that I never listened to my cousins and my sisters every time they told me to shut up, because they give me a mic and I just go to town and I talk and I have so much fun. And of course, the more fun you have as a host, as you know, the better it looks on camera. So for me, hosting kind of came naturally and was just a lot of fun. And, acting is definitely a lot more challenging.
Okay. And what are some other acting projects that you're working on right now that we can look forward to seeing you in?
Yeah, well, I did an indie film called The Heartbreaker, and I play the part of Linda in it. And it's an independent film, and they're still doing it, even though we shot it last year. They're still working on it, so we'll see what happens with it. I'm hearing rumors that it may or may not be at Sundance. We'll see.
Any sneak preview of what we can anticipate on this season of Dexter?
No, of course we can't. It's going to be this season in Dexter is going to be interesting. He has a baby now. That's going to bring some new challenges to his past time activity. John Lithgow is the new serial killer adversary to Dexter this season, and he's fantastic. And it's just going to be the same old twists and turns, only more exciting and more interesting. People are more invested in the characters. So it's going to be, the stakes are higher this year.
Okay, well, I look forward to seeing what's to come. And how about you, your character?
Well, I still get into a lot of trouble and still loving the women, so...
So a typical guy is what you're saying?
I'm the typical guy. I represent the typical guy in Dexter, and so I have a lot of fun doing that.
David, I see you at a lot of horror movie films. I saw you at Halloween, I think, and then Final Destination. So I'm assuming you're a fan of horror films?
I'm a big fan of horror films ever since Night of the Living Dead in the 60s and The Exorcist. And
Which one's your favorite?
I would say my favorite is 28 Days Later.
Really? So it's kind of like that vampire zombie feel to it, right?
Well, it's just that it's when it has like truthful science or interesting humor involving with zombies. I love that. It's great.
Okay. And what's the worst way you guys would say would be to die?
The worst way to die.
To have my brain eaten.
Well, you would already be dead, no? Or you
No.
cut your head. Well,
You still be
You
alive.
know what? That's negative thinking. I'm not gonna. I don't like to think about.
don't
that.
participate in that. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, David. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Sam. So I followed you all throughout ER. Big fan. Okay. I've always wondered the medical terminology. I mean, learning lines itself is hard.
Yeah.
How do you deal with the medical terminology as well? How much time do you have?
Well, we don't have a lot of time. It was really tough. You know, the most important thing is learning the lines, because they have real doctors there to tell you what everything means. So it's your job to basically learn the lines, and then when you go in the next day, they'll give you a few hours to work with the doctors to make sure you're doing the procedures correctly and using the words in the right content. So it was tough, but it was a challenging job, but it was a lot of fun. Working with Mekhi Phifer and Danny Glover and Angela Bassett and John Stamos.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys did a great job on that. Now, after ER, what are we working on? What can we expect to see you in?
I have a new television show coming out January 12th called Blue Mountain State that I'm a series regular on. It's Brian Robbins is producing it, who used to produce my old show Smallville with Lionsgate, and it's a football comedy. So it's gonna be my first time doing a comedy, but it's crazy. I mean, it's something that it's a show like no other show that's ever been on TV before.
I play Wichita, who is a girl that was a con artist before Zombieland even began and is using it to the best of her advantage now with her little sister. It's played by Abigail Breslin, now that the world has been taken over.
All right. And what would you categorize this movie as? Like a horror, a comedy?
Comedy, for sure. There just happened to be zombies.
Date movie or?
Sure, yeah, it's an anybody movie. It's pretty friggin' funny.
All right.
Yeah.
So what's it like working on a zombie movie? Is it?
It's kind of awesome. A lot of guns, a lot of violence, a lot of humor.
And how do you prepare for a role like that?
Just learn how to shoot guns. That was all I did. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I play a character named Columbus, who has survived in this post-apocalyptic Zombieland because I have a list of 47 rules of how to survive in this world, which include like cardiovascular exercise and like always put your stuff in Ziploc bags because the zombies ooze. So very like comedically practical, mundane rules. So that's how I've survived.
Almost OCD-like?
Extremely.
All right.
Yeah.
And what effects can we look forward to in the movie? Any special surprises?
I mean, well, there is a major surprise in the movie that I will be sued if I give it away. But
we don't want that.
Well, some people do. The people who would be suing me would want it.
Yeah.
Because then I'll be rich. But yeah, in terms of like effects, the stuff is incredible. Like the last part of the movie takes place at an amusement park where the characters use all the rides as weapons. So and the special effects are incredible.
Anything for that question?
I don't know, but my family's been asking me the same thing. Yeah.
Thank you guys. All right, you guys, that's the end of our show. We had a great black carpet. I'm excited to see the movie. I'm sure you guys are ready to see it, right? Yeah! Woo! All right, thank you. I hope you guys join us again for the Time TV Red Carpet with Mary.